Back in our country, some in the Republican Party are also pushing for renewal. My guest today has one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, but in the last 48 hours, some in D.C. have taken to calling U.S. Representative Tom McClintock a rhino, as in Republican in name only. That happening after he voted no in the Republican-led impeachment effort against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for his supposed dereliction of duty when it comes to the U.S. border. The GOP-controlled House, which has beat the drum over border security, was a rumored no-go on a bipartisan border reform bill this week and didn't endorse new funding for Ukraine and Israel to fight Russia and Hamas. Congressman Tom McClintock with me now live to talk about all of this. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So before the vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary, you voiced great concern that doing this way would be lowering the bar for something as serious as impeachment. What's your concern about what kind of precedent that would have set?
Well, it would mean that impeachment would simply become a standard part of national life whenever the White House is held by one party and the Congress by another. And don't get me wrong, I've got nothing nice to say about Alejandro Mayorkas. He is guilty of maladministration on a truly cosmic scale. But that's not grounds for impeachment. We know that because the American founders specifically considered that and rejected it because they were concerned of that very thing. And this is not a crisis that's going to be solved by replacing one leftist official with another. I don't understand. Even in the fantasy where the Senate would actually remove Mayorkas by a 2/3 vote, Biden will simply appoint another leftist, say Ocasio-Cortez. How does that change anything? This crisis can only be fixed by replacing the entire administration with one that is committed to securing our borders and defending our country. And that can only be done by the American people at the ballot box.
Alrighty, now, you've referenced this whole situation as a stunt, but this vote could come back around. The speaker just hinting at that overnight. Would you vote no again?
Of course I would. The Constitution hasn't changed, and the very good reasons that it's written the way it has been written haven't changed.
Well, all of this effort is supposed to be about fixing the U.S. border. Your party colleagues in the Senate killed the most comprehensive bill on border reform that's come this close to passage in years. Your chamber had telegraphed that it would be dead on arrival. With most Republican voters telling pollsters the border is the biggest issue for them, what is going on?
Well, this would be a giant step backward, this Senate bill. First of all, the enforcement of immigration law gives the president a great deal of discretion. And you can see the difference between Trump and Biden. The day Trump left office, the border was secure. The Remain in Mexico policy had slowed illegal immigration to a trickle. We were nearing completion of the border wall, and we were actually enforcing court-ordered deportations. On his first day in office, Biden came in and reversed all of those policies and initiated the largest illegal mass migration in recorded history. Now, you take a look at this bill. It requires the administration to allow up to 4,000 illegal entries a day. If it goes above 5,000 a day for 7 days, it requires the border to be temporarily closed. And that is an improvement over how Biden is administering it. But suppose the next president is a president like Donald Trump, who's actually committed to securing the border. This would completely tie his hands. He would now be required by law to admit at least 4,000 illegal immigrants every single day. Okay. So that makes this a giant step backward. Right now, the next president can do what President Trump did during his term and actually secure the border. This would make that impossible for him to do.
Okay. Funding for Ukraine and Israel also held up this week by Republicans. RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel first offering Tuesday to step down in the face of what seemed like a lot of missteps and then giving some mixed signals about that yesterday. Supposedly, former President Trump wants her out. With all of this happening, why should voters believe that your party can lead this country into the future?
Well, this party has taken a very strong stand for many years against illegal immigration. And, when people ask me, well, how can this be happening? It's happening because the Biden administration wants it to happen and is aiding and abetting it. If you voted for them, this is exactly what you voted for because this is what they promised to do. It's what they've done. And it's what they have now defended for the last 3 years. The Republicans have stood for border security and passed the single most comprehensive border security bill out of the House in nearly a century, H.R. 2. It is languishing in the Senate for lack of votes. And this is an issue that the American people are going to have to decide which direction they want to take in this coming election.
All right, and when it comes to the future of the Republican Party and the future of this country, today a challenge to the state of Colorado's decision to bump former President Trump from his presidential ballot is being heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. Colorado made its move based on a provision in the 14th Amendment making participation in insurrection a disqualifier. President Trump has been accused of inciting the January 6th mob that attacked the U.S. Capitol. What do you think the High Court should do? What's your opinion in this case?
I think it should abide by the law. Donald Trump has never been accused of, or has never been convicted of inciting a riot. He's never been convicted of insurrection. These are charges without any kind of conviction. He's never even been formally charged with these crimes. So how a single state can deny the people the right to make this decision for themselves is beyond me. And I think the Supreme Court will reverse it, hopefully 9-0.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Obviously, a lot to follow. Do you have any opinion about whether or not Ronna McDaniel should be stepping down?
Well, that's McClintock's fifth law of political physics. There is no possible way to win a party squabble.
All righty. Thank you so much for your insight on that issue as well. As always, we will check back in with you. We appreciate your time today.
My pleasure, Tonsray. Thanks to you.